The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hi, and welcome to the Eagle Sports Network. I'm Caitlin Jones, standing alongside head track and field coach David Needs. So obviously we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming SAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. You guys are heading down to Winston-Salem at the JDL Fast Track. But before that, I kind of want to get into what has preparation looked like, how has training looked this week, and what your feelings are about that.
Well, you know, one of the things that we do is we try and take a week off between then and then, just to make sure that we're really making sure that everybody's healthy and training. Doesn't always work that way. We've got a couple of nagging injuries that we're trying to get over. We did take one athlete to Virginia Tech last week. He ran the 200 and won the meet, but it was just a one athlete thing, just because we're trying to get ready for nationals and the conference meet at the same time.
Absolutely. So you kind of mentioned this, but obviously track and field is a very individual sport. You know, you're always trying to beat your personal record, get a new personal best time. But at a meet like conference championships, that team score really matters. So how do you guys kind of navigate that conversation with your team? You know, you want to do well individually and then also be focused on the team.
Yeah, so, you know, we went to had a team meeting yesterday, and inside the team meeting we said, I'm going to say something that I usually don't say, and that is win, right? Like we always want to win.
Absolutely.
Right, but we want to win the race. Like, that's the most important thing. We had Coach Lee that was speaking and all of our other coaches that spoke, and it was like, this is the one meet and nationals where time doesn't matter, distance doesn't matter as much as beating others from the conference. So every person you beat in the conference, it pushes us up higher and pushes them down lower. So we want to win this week. And so we shift focus from the normal, hey, do your best, you know, you can finish last, but if you get a personal best and qualify for nationals, hallelujah, to if you finish last in this one, not so good, right? So we want to win, obviously.
So you kind of mentioned nationals a little bit. For those athletes who this might be their last opportunity to get that kind of national cut, what does the conversation look like when you're kind of trying to take the pressure off? You don't want them to overthink it too much, but you still want them to be prepared and have the mindset that they need to get this done.
Well, you know, in track, there's different surfaces and there's different distances, right? So there's 300 meters, there's 200-meter tracks in indoor. There's 200-meter hydraulic, and there's 200-meter flat. And we're running on a 200-meter flat, which does help because you do get like a time assistance, but it doesn't help because the surface isn't usually conducive for running super fast. Right. And so for our athletes to push nationals is, I think that's partly going to be, Caitlin, from the nature of the competition, that we're going to run against the best from our conference, and our conference is pretty good nationally. So to have some of these people that will push, you know, our sprint conference is as good as it gets in Division II. And so to get people like that to be able to compete and be able to compete in a situation like this really allows us to get after it and run the kind of times we need to. So the surface isn't always the best, but the competition is the best. And so it really is something that really drives us to be successful.
This might be a tough question. You've got so many talented athletes. Is there anybody in particular, a couple people, a relay perhaps, that you've got your eye on that you're hoping to make some big strides this weekend?
Well, you know, we said this about Sade. You got to be strategic, right? We could have put Sade in the 200 and she would have probably scored. But our focus is on trying to get her to nationals, and she's right there on the edge of going, and so we want her to go, and she's had a little bit of a foot thing. So to have Sade to go. On the women's side, also Tatiana Wilson. This is her great opportunity to win the 400 meters. We're so proud of her, and you know, she hit a Provo mark a couple weeks ago, and this is the time to take that next step and to win. And she's finished second a couple of times, and this is her moment in time, we think. We've got a great relay team in the 4x4. We've got some great ladies that have really done well. Our distance program has really gotten better in the last couple of weeks. They really gel together, and so like people like Katie Smock and Jenna Pittman and others, and getting Grace Lathrop back from injury, and Imka Van Gogh and so many other names that I could say of people that are really going out there and running hard. You know, McKenna and you know, just Peyton and all of our ladies that really are giving us their very best effort. So we like that. And then, you know, on the men's side, we got Amin, who's done well, Veryl Sam. So our January incoming guys, Jeremiah Carroll, who we brought over here in the last couple of weeks, has done really well and has a chance. But, you know, Shamar is somebody that we think can score in 2 events. And so you have people that you really look at and say, you know, this is it. But on the women's side, to finish up on the women's side, we have 4 women that are in the top 5 in the long jump. And so when you have Khadijah, who is a national qualifier, and you have Savannah who got there, and Sid who's been one, and then Brooke. You really have this great group of young ladies that. A superstar group of people that can finish in the top four, and that's rare that in our conference that you can win, take the top four places.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you mentioned obviously the goal is we want to win. Outside of that, just to wrap up, give me one goal for you all as a team. Maybe it's mindset, maybe it's just team camaraderie. One goal from this weekend that you want to take away.
So, don't want to sound preachy, but here's what we said. We use the example in the Bible, and it comes out of Samuel, and it basically is that when David went to fight Goliath, David didn't stand his ground. David didn't walk towards Goliath. He didn't jog towards Goliath. What he did was he sprinted towards Goliath. And the idea was that the task ahead was large, but the intention was larger. And so for us, that's where we want to be. We want to be so committed this week in our principle of getting after it and honoring God, that we're not going to walk into this challenge or stand still into this challenge or even jog into this challenge, but to sprint into the challenge this weekend. And if we do that, I'm confident that with the character and quality of our group, that we're really going to be somebody that succeeds on and off the track this weekend.
Awesome. Well, SAC championships ahead. We wish you all the best of luck as you head down there. And thank you all for tuning in to the Eagle Sports Network.